Hello, everybody. Joe Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. Well, it's Monday, and the market, it's dead cat bouncing. I think we're still in an overall downward trend, but at least the market seems to be moving up today. I did a little bit of rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic today. I did sell one of my part of my holdings in BJ's, which is a retailer. I sold about half of it, and then also I did start to look at possibly bulking up on Occidental Petroleum. But basically, I'm really in at four stocks. But the S&P gained about 1.5%. Russell 2000 was up, so overall pretty good. We had a nice gain on the Dow, 0.72%. And by the way, um, it's the oil stocks that really have been doing well. It's a tough market to trade. This is a really tough market to trade, but some of the oil stocks are setting up nicely. There's a nice setups on Devon and on ExxonMobil. Just wanted to kind of uh, to give you a heads up on which are looking kind of good. The Nasdaq was up the most, which is great, and the Russell, that's the broadest based index. Of course, that's 2,000 stocks. That was up as well. So, it's starting to look a little bit more like Christmas, but not really. Here's what I've got. I did sell my ADM stock today. I got rid of my ADM stock. It started to move down, and I just didn't want to be in it. I just nothing really spectacular, but I definitely got rid of my ADM stock today, sold it. PBR, this is the Petrobras. This is the Brazilian national oil company, and really like this one. It's up today. I did, I'm looking to bulk up on this one a little bit because it's pulled back and it looks like it's going higher again. I cut part of my BJ's here. It was down a little bit, so I decided to take some profits at about half the shares. If it moves up again, I'll probably be buying it again. I do like it. Gloam, my poorest trade today was GLNG. This is a LNG carrier company. It's basically in the basically an LNG company. Not looking bad, but pulled back, and it'd been up several days, so it was not unsuspected that we're going to get a pullback on it. And then of course Oxy, we went there. So let's take a look first, just kind of what's setting up that I'm looking at right now. There is a setup on. Oh, and by the way, this is my small portfolio. Again, I'm still mostly in cash. I mean, it's just amazing. Um, yeah, it's just most amazing. I'm still in cash, but I'm up on both of them, so I'm not complaining too much. So let's look at setups. Well, let's first go to let's first jump on over to I saw question sell PBR prior to the election, probably, but I like PBR. I mean, I like PBR. Let's take a look at PBR on the screen. This is not Pabst Blue Ribbon. That's how I remember it. but uh, but PBR, and that's Petrobras. And of course, interestingly enough, one of the advantages of Petrobras right now is that because it is denominated in reals, which of course is the Brazilian currency, there's an advantage. Dollars are performing a little bit better than reals right now. There's a lot of inflation in South America, especially in Argentina, but it also kind of has moved over to Brazil. So there's definitely an advantage in buying something like PBR in reals. But anyways, taking a look at this, taking a look at PBR, this is technically the buy point, basically here at 1235, 1236, excuse me. It moved up, it peaked out, but where there is an opportunity to buy it, I believe, is on this reversal. And basically, what happens is it did go as high as 1540, and I do think it's going to reverse above that line. So that's kind of what I'm looking to see. So I'm going to put a reversal line on there, set a line, but I just think we're going to bounce off the 21-day line. Let me show this to everybody on TikTok. See if you can see this. There we go. All right, so kind of moving my my Kmart camera. Well, you probably don't remember Kmart, But my crappy camera there, well, it's actually an iPhone, so it's pretty good. But as you can see, this came up, bounced off that 21-day moving average, and then moved higher. Currently, after hours, it's up $13.93. Now, why do I like PBR so much? Well, I like PBR because it was my favorite beer when I was in college, but it has a strong checklist, so I really like that. So this is at a buy. I think PBR is viable currently, and that's something that you might want to take a look at. And Doc says, should we sell this prior to the election? Nah, I don't think so. I think PBR is likely to do very, very well. It's just one of these large integrated international oil companies that you've never heard of, but definitely I think is a pretty good company, and I don't think you need to sell it. I'm going to try to build a position in this. I do think that long term, it's definitely going to be one of the big ones, and it has been for a while. Let's take a look at Tesla because that is on everybody's mind. And I have a way that I think I'm going to be playing Tesla, and I'll show it to you in just a second. But so let's jump on over to the Tesla chart, TSLA. It seems like Tesla is finally waking up from its long sleep, which is nice because I'm really glad to see that. Yeah, I've been waiting for this for a while. We're above 300, and that's the magic number, at least for me, on Tesla. Is that I think if we can stay above that 300 level, then we have something that we can work with. One of the advantages, one of the things here that I've been waiting for is this movement above that 200-day moving average. That's very critical for me. Now, here's what I want to do on this one. I am probably going to do an interesting play. I want to buy some Tesla, but I don't want to buy it at the top price. So what I'm looking to do possibly is to do this. So what I'm going to show you is, and this believe me, this play isn't for everybody. It's called a cash secured put. And let me see if I can bring. Well, I don't know if I can bring it up on the screen, but anyways, is it viable here? Well, I do expect Tesla to pull back a little bit tomorrow because it's been up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. Typically, something will not go up 5 days, so I do expect a little bit of a pullback, and I'm probably going to do I'm probably going to do a what they call a cash secured put. So let me see if I can come up with. I prepared a little deck for it, so hopefully I can come up with that. And let's see, cash secured put. There we go. All right, and this is kind of a low risk way to buy a stock that you want to buy, but you don't want to buy it at the you want to get a little bit of advantage on it. So here's what I'm going to do. Uh, let's see if I can download a copy to the. Take just a second here. So all right, so this is and there we go. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm just taking a slide deck that I just made here from there we go. No, that's not quite it. There we go. All right. So what I intend to do with Tesla is to do what they call a cash secured put, and what this is, what the way this works is basically what you're doing here is you're basically taking cash that you have, and then you're just holding it and then selling a put. So it's just like selling a regular put. Instead of not buying a put, this would be selling a put. And where I intend to do this, and I did this last night, this calculation, so it's not exactly correct, is to do it basically at uh, the the basically at the 286.90, the 286 level. So that's where I tend to do it. And basically, you pick up about $850 on this one. That's if it goes up, then you don't get it. You don't get your put exercise, but you get the $860. But if it goes down, you buy it basically at $860. So if it goes up, I don't get any. If it goes up on me here, I don't really get anything. But if it goes down and it hits that very critical 21-day line, which I think it may come down and touch that 21-day line, that's sort of where I want to buy it. But I can make a little bit of money by selling the put. So if it comes down, hits that 21-day line, then I'll make a little bit of money on those. So that's what they call that's that's the put. So here's kind of how it. I don't know if you can see this, how it looks, and how the thing looks up. But basically, what it is that you're buying it. You're selling that put, and you're putting aside some cash. And then if it comes down, the put will be exercised, and you'll basically buy this stock at a discount. Now, here's the bad part about it. Of course, you got to buy 100 shares at a time. So, unfortunately, this is going to take about $30,000 to do. So, even if I do it, I'll probably just I'll probably just sell off some of them. But that's kind of one of my plans, anyways, for Tesla. I would wait a day or two. See, I do think we're going to get a pullback tomorrow in Tesla just because it's been up 5 days, but I do think it's settling above that critical 200-day moving average, and that kind of indicates to me that we may be seeing a bounce on Tesla. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to draw a kind of a reversal line. We're still kind of below that reversal line, but I definitely think we're starting to get a movement up. And we've spent a lot of time and so a lot of that, and a lot of the overhead a lot of the overhead supply is starting to come off that, which is nice. So I do think that Tesla is starting to become more interesting above that $300 level. So I definitely like that. I definitely like that level. All right, so let's take another question on. Hey, thank you so much, Christine. Thank you for coming. And look at NVIDIA, NVDA, of course, and it's been a tremendous stock. The problem with NVIDIA, several problems with NVIDIA. The semiconductor sector has just been in this downward trend, and that's been tough because this downward trend has really, you know, it's been difficult. As you can see, I've made my notes on here. I haven't really traded it that much since I was stopped out. Basically, I sold back here at 168.78, and of course it's at 145. So I'm kind of waiting to see some support here on Tesla on Nvidia. Haven't really seen anything yet. I've just kind of been sitting on the sidelines waiting for it to bottom so that I can buy this. Right now, I just think you got to be careful. Not a good time to be buying the semis at all. So I would be very, very careful here. And I would say that Nvidia is not a buy currently. It's just isn't, because it's just too far down. And eventually we're going to get some support, but right now, and we are starting to get a little bit of support here, but it's just too early. There is some buying coming in here, but I just would not be in Nvidia right now. I just don't think it's a good buy, and I think you just got to wait. You got to wait for a base, and hopefully, after we have a base, then um, you know, once we get a base, then we can possibly come into it. But right now, Nvidia just isn't a good buy, unfortunately, and yeah, it's just the way it is. Dinesh, thank you very much. Let's look at Funko, FNKO, and of course, this is I don't know a lot about Funko, but I think it's apparently it's doing great business, um, and it seems to be one of the few things in this recessionary environment that seems to be doing very, very well. So that's kind of that's kind of what the deal is. With Funko. Let me put it up there. FNKO. FNKO. There we go. Funko. All right. Is it buyable? And that's the question. That's always the question, isn't it? Here we go. We had this nice uh, cup formation, and then we came up. There was a buy point here, 25.93. We're currently 24.68. We had some two really, three really strong sessions in Funco with increasing volumes. So that's looking good. That's looking really good for Funco. The question is, can it be bought? Let's take a look at at the strength of it. Well, it's got a pretty good checklist, 78%. That's good. Not as good, obviously, as 100%, but very good nevertheless. In the pattern recognition, basically we are below or 5% below the pivot, and the pivot is a cup with handle, and that is a stage 2 cup with handle. Well, what does that mean? Well, cup with handle is one of the best formations out there. Stage 2 is quite good. Can you buy it here? Well, I think you could probably start nibbling. It's above the 200-day line. That's key. It's got a relatively strong checklist. Very good there. We're above that 50-day line, so that's good, and we're above the 21-day line. Now the real telltale sign is going to be how close to that 21-day line can we get? Can we get within 5%? We can't. It's 21. It's the 21-day line currently is at 22.43. Let me just see if where we want to buy it. I think we're going to have to wait for it to pull back here a little bit. Um, so what I would do on Funco is that if you could buy it for 21.30, that would be within 5% of that 21-day line. That's where I would buy it. So I don't think right now it's the time. I wait for Funco to pull back, but you know, wait for Funco FNKO to pull back to 21.30, and that's kind of where I think you could possibly buy it. I wouldn't buy it here. I think it's extended right now at 24. I think it's extended. I think you need to wait for a pullback here to about 21.30. And if it pulls back to that, and I think it will because it's moved up very quickly in the last 3 days, you need to buy it relatively close to that 21-day line. Now currently, so I think that if it pulled back to about 21.30, which I think it would probably do, that's where you want to buy it. So I wouldn't buy it at this level. I think it's a little extended here. I would probably wait a little bit on that, but I definitely think it is doable. All right, let's look at another one for Dinesh. Thank you, BBW, and that is Build a Bear Warehouse. I think, is it BBW or is it Bed Bath and Beyond? Can't remember on that one. Yeah, Build a Bear Warehouse. This was a good stock about a year ago, and I was following it, but I haven't really done anything with BBW. Let's see. There we go. Okay, so it's below the trend line, so it's losing altitude below the 21-day on below the 200-day moving average, below the 50-day moving average, below the 10-day moving average, below the 21-day moving average. So you just really can't buy this one. This one is down. This is a downward trend for BBW. So I just oops. So BBW is not a buy here. It's in a downward trend. You just don't want to buy in a downward trend. So I just wouldn't be a buyer of BBW here. It just doesn't look good to me. And that's just one of those things that you gotta bear with. So I'm going to show you some that I do think will work. Definitely. Hey, Johnny, thank you for that. Johnny Arcade. Like that name. EQT. These are the kind of stocks you ought to be looking at. Absolutely. EQT. Let's look at this one. This is the Colombian National Oil Company, very similar to PBR, but it is Colombian doing well as well. These nationalized oil companies are doing quite well, so it's definitely something that is doable here. So here we go with EQT. And this is basically also a in this oil and gas integrated area, but it's an international company. So can we buy it here? Well, I think we can because we are above. We're close enough to that 200, that 21-day line. Yeah, we're just a tad bit off. We're 6%. We could still buy this here. It's a tad extended. Checklist is good. It's in a good area. This is the oil and gas integrated. I definitely like this. I think we're going to see oil prices go higher. That's what it's looking like at least. Um, and we're 99 relative strength. So I definitely think you could do this on the pattern recognition. This is a cup with handle and the pivot. Let's move it over so everybody on TikTok can see it, not just my ugly face. So basically, that is the pivot on it, a cup with handle at stage three, 46.71 is the buy point. Currently, we're at 50.44. So we're a little bit extended, but we're still in the buy zone. So this is buyable right here. I definitely think this is buyable, EQT. And I'm not in it, but that's because I'm in Petrobras. But I do think I do think the EQT is viable. Um, Now, I think it's viable now, and I do see coming into the end of the year. I definitely think we're going to have some higher oil prices. I hate to say that, but I think we're going to, and I think some of these international oil companies are going to do well, and EQT definitely is probably in there as well. Nicholas is asking here, um, looking to see if we could short waste management. WM. And I'm going to probably try to do a series on shorting because I think we're coming up to a time when we can do that. And this is using the writings of a gentleman named Nicholas Darvis. He's long since dead, but he did do some interesting work on this. So I'm going to try to present that to some of you on the show, and maybe on something like something like Patreon, and like, I don't know, some of the coursework stuff, because I've been delving into his shorting strategies, which is very interesting. Waste management. Here we go. We have a buy point at 170. We came down, we tested, and we moved up, and we have a all-time high at about 175. These companies are doing well. These waste companies. Do I think it's a short? Well, let's look at the pattern recognition. No, I don't think it's a short. We're above the buy point. We're above the pivot. Here's the thing. This one has not started to break down yet, and we had the 50-day line move above the 200-day line. So this is not a short. So this one is not a short. It hasn't started breaking down yet. So I think you just got to be careful here. This is not a shorting pattern. So WM is not a short now. I mean, it may be in the future, but right now it is not. Waste management. You don't want to be shorting this one. This one's probably going to go higher. This is my take on it. We're probably going to go higher with waste management here. So don't short this one. Don't short this one. It's not a good thing. Good question here from buy and sell. Buy and sell. Once I like this. Apple is looking good. You are absolutely right. Apple's looking great today. Let's look at Apple. AAPL, of course, is the symbol for Apple. And let's see. This one, hopefully this is one of the most widely held of all the tech stocks, and it's starting. And here's why Apple is looking good. It's not just enough to say it's looking good, though sometimes that's a good thing to say. The reason why it's looking good, it's because it's above that 200-day moving average. And if you look here, the 200-day moving average has started to slope upwards, just barely, just barely. Now, what does the 200-day moving average mean? Well, here's what the 200-day moving average means. 200-day moving average typically is institutional funds that flow in and out of the stock. So if it's sloping up, that means that we're starting to see accumulation by some of the funds. So that's a good thing. We're also very close to their announcement on the iPhone 14. I don't know how that's gonna work, but there's been a sharp, as you can see, the relative strength has sharply moved up. So if you know this is time to be putting Apple on the watch list. Would I buy it here? Probably not. I want to see some more strength above that 21-day line. But let's look and see how close to that 21-day line it is. Yeah, and it's 1%. So this is probably buyable here actually. If you wanted to start sizing a position in Apple, it's looking fairly good actually. With this reversal, basically it came down below the 200-day moving average, below the 50-day, and then it bounced, and then we have this relative strength, which is moving up. Now let's check the checklist on it. This is not going to be as good a checklist as some of the others. It's only a 67% checklist. Typically, I'm more in the oil stocks right now. They typically have better checklists. Let me compare two stocks that you might be interested in here with each other. One of them, of course, is Apple. Let's put that up there. And this is kind of a proxy for tech versus oil. So here's what I'm doing. This is the way Apple is looking. Here's a stock that I'm thinking about sizing a position. It's Devon DVN, and this is an oil stock, of course. Look at how much better look at how much better the performance is on Devon versus Apple. If you put $1 in Apple stock a year ago, you would have about 10 cents more. If you put $1 in Devon stock about a year ago, you'd have about $1.60 more. So obviously, the Devon stock is the better of the two, and that's where I kind of want to segue here over to stocks that I do think are viable. DVN is one of them. This Devon Energy has a 100% checklist. I want to show this to you. 100% checklist here. It did. It's a little bit off of the. It's starting to reverse. This is a very strong sign. It's a cup with handle, and then this is the handle. This is typically a good place to get into the stock. I definitely think this is buyable. It's up after hours, just ever so slightly, 6 cents, not a whole lot, but this one is probably poised to move higher. The relative strength on this one, 97. So this is very, very good. It was pulling back, but it's now starting to make its move higher. So this is one I definitely recommend to every. So on the buyable stocks, I'm going to kind of put put up here the buyable oil stocks. DVN definitely is in there for today. So DVN, I'm just going to put that up. Put that up there. Let's go back to the Tech Talk and look at ASO. Of course, this is American Sports and Outdoors. It's a retailer. They've been struggling a little bit as of late. But they missed on their earnings, but they're definitely up. That's interesting. Okay, so they did miss on their earnings. I want to kind of look at this one. Yeah, sales are down, same store sales are down 6%, profits are down 2%. So American Sports and Outdoors, 96 relative strength. It's got a lot going for it. Let's compare this with BJ's because I definitely think BJ's is strong in the retail sector. So let's take a look. This is ASO against BJ's. Let's look at BJ's. All right. And there we go. So BJ's is doing a little bit better than ASO. This is the one I have been in the retail sector. This has sort of been my pick. BJ's is a little bit stronger than ASO, and it definitely is an upward trend. ASO is too, but it pulled back. So I would avoid ASO here. That would be my that would be my take on that would be my take on it. So I'd avoid ASO for now. I just think that there's better setups out there. Not that it's necessarily a bad stock, but I just think that there's some better setups out there. All right, let's take a look back on TikTok and Palantir. This is a question from Squawk 2021. Let's look at Palantir. Of course, this is the Peter Thiel stock. Has not been doing well as of late, but the question is, has it turned? PLTR, of course, is the symbol. I do believe that Palantir is profitable. I just don't know what's totally going on with it. It's down to $8. Ouch, that's really bad. Um, I wouldn't short it here because it's just there's not enough meat left on the bone. So I think I would avoid this one. You just don't want to buy. Yeah, this is not good. You don't want to buy a stock in a downward trend like this. You just don't. You can see the downward. This is a monthly chart. Just the downward trend is has been brutal for the stock. I've traded it, but I really haven't traded it for a while, and it's downward trend. So here's what I would say regarding here's what I'd say regarding Palantir. It's just on a downward trend here, so it is indeed not a good situation. Yeah, it's just not a good situation. Relative strength is 12. Let's look at the checklist. I don't think it's that good. No, it isn't. It's only 33%. So I think you got to avoid Palantir. Just my you know just my 2 cents. I think you're just better off in the oil stocks. Again, I like Devon right here. I also want to look at Oxy. This is the one I did. I've been buying OXY. So I still think this is where the market is telling us to be, and the market is telling us to be in some of the oil stocks. Currently, Occidental Petroleum, their last quarter, sales were up 73% quarter over quarter. That's terrific. Profits were up 888. So you can't really argue with that. Warren Buffett's been loading up on this. It's 100%. This is a very affordable stock at $66. It's about 10% below its pivot. That's a very good place to buy it because it's bouncing off of the 21-day line. Let's see if we can get to the daily chart. There, come on, daily chart. There we go, daily chart. Okay, so we're right at the 21-day line. This is a good place to buy. This is a very good place to buy Oxy. Why? Because it is very close. It's a little bit lower than the 21-day line. That's a good place to buy it on a reversal, and that's what we've got here. So let's kind of add that one to some of the. Let's add that to. So I'm going to say Oxy is also buyable here. I'm going to kind of update that. So I think those two are viable right now. I just think that they're starting to look good. All right. Will PLAB pass $20? Now, PLAB, for everyone that doesn't know, is a semiconductor stock that's in the business of making masks, these lithography masks to make the actual semiconductor chips. So it is along with several other companies like ASML, very, very important in the semiconductor manufacturing space. We have some very large fabs being put together in the semiconductor space. Of course, PLAB probably will participate in this. Wolfspeed just announced a $5 billion, with a B, facility probably going to be built in North Carolina, and this is going to be a fab. So a lot of spending in that area. Right now, unfortunately, I wish I had better news for you on PLAB. Would I buy it here? Probably not. I don't like to buy below that 200-day moving average. I just don't. It's just not a very good place to be buying. As you can see, this black line here is 250-day moving average. Let's look at the checklist on PLAB. And I just don't think the checklist is okay. 67% is not bad. This is my minimum, but I probably wouldn't buy it here. So just looking at it, I think we've got to be careful. And let's look at the funds. Yeah, there just aren't the funds. They are increasing. The number of funds are increasing. That is a good sign for PLAB. The only thing is, I just don't like the action. Now, one of the action that I thought was very interesting announcement today. And of course, this came from, thank you very much, somebody that is in the Discord room. By the way, you can find out about that at www.Dallas Trading Floor. Well, this is a firm called, and I've been talking about this one. I sold. I took profits on this probably too early, but it's LNG, and they announced a share buyback today. I cannot believe this, but they announced a share buyback, and the question is it actionable? And this might be an actionable thing. So 89 checklist on the technicals. It's basically right at the 21-day line. It's a very good place to buy it. Boy, I tell you what, it's just, yeah. I mean, I like the stock a lot. It's come down a little bit. I'm not in it yet, but this is definitely on my watch list. Up after hours, $5, 165. So this is looking pretty decent. This is a Cheniere Energy. I definitely like this stock a lot. I think it may be a good place to buy it is off this 21-day line. We'll see. But looking good. Looking good there. All right. AEL, of course, this is a utility play. And the thing about utilities, I just can't get too excited about them. I wish I could. No, I'm sorry. American Institute Life, life insurer. I'm not really a fan of buying the life insurance company. I think it's better to just not do anything rather than buy life insurance. If you're looking for kind of a safe, long-term, relatively long-term investment, look at the TBT. I think that's going to give you a better. It's going to give you better action because I do think that unfortunately, um, we're going to see rates go up even from here. But the TBT, I think this is likely to move up once again, and this is this one might be an alternative for you there. All right, probably last question here. X Pro short. Okay, so let's take the last question for today. Thank you so much for taking a look at the show. I so appreciate it. Okay, we did Palantir, Amazon, Apple. Hello, hi. Thank you, EQT, DVN. Oh yeah, I think DVN. I think boating 2021 is doing great. I think it will go up a bit more. I do think with DVN will, and I think that's so. Here's kind of my take on it. Kind of to leave you with a take for today. We are seeing some strength in the market right now, and there's two stocks that both have 100% checklists that I think are. Uh, oh yeah, there we go. And there was also a raise of on after hours. Unfortunately, we're not in a great place to buy it. I wish we were better, but the buyable stocks right now, what I'm seeing out there is basically these energy stocks, DVN and Oxy. These are both viable right now, and I think they're both viable right now, and you could definitely get it. I definitely think we're gonna. It's not going to be a long term thing on this, but I think we're going to see higher highs on Devon and on Oxy. So those are two that definitely think you want to look into. Well, thank you very, very much for. Oh, one last thing I wanted to point out, and I don't know if you can do this, but if not, you can get this on both. We do have the group strength list for today. It's up, and it's for this is for September 12th. You can do it by going to this address, or you can just go to www Dallas Trading Floor. You can just go to www Dallas Trading Floor, and we have for you a we have for you where you can click on the link and get that. But www Dallas Trading Floor. And by the way, if you're not already a member of the Action Trailer, it's super duper easy to do. Just go here to www Dallas Trading Floor, and then definitely like if you can like it. That likes us, and that likes you can like it. And so like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's really helpful for us very much. So hit that like button, hit that like button, and we'll be back tomorrow at 5. Thank you so very much. We do also have the Action Trade Alerts, which are free. So just go to www Dallas Trading Floor, and we will see you back here tomorrow at 5. Thank you so much for taking a look. And we are starting to see a little bit of a bounce here. So it's time possibly to to move into two stocks. I'm probably going to be moving into Devon, and I also am in Oxy right now. I think those are looking pretty decent. And who knows how long they're going to last, but right now they're looking pretty good. So till tomorrow at 5. Happy trading, everybody. Stay safe.